Patty and Nikki and Harriet. Welcome to our Board of Selectmen regularly scheduled Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019 meeting. We'll begin a little early tonight so we can later on celebrate the arrival of our new town administrator, Anthony Ansaldi, at 6:30. We'll be out of here by 6:15, I promise, I think. First, we have the usual public input. Those items not on the agenda. I see the usual customers there, nobody I can not identify, so we'll pass over that. Next, we have a water ban from the Water Department, which is always interesting. And so, did a little research on this today. No, that's not it. And that, whatever I think I have it memorized anyway. And so the Department of Environmental, what is it? Departmental Environmental something or other.
DEP, Department of
DEP.
Environmental Protection. Yes.
Monitors the flow of the Ipswich River continuously, apparently, and that if the water flow is less than 5.2 something or others, something CPS, they, for 3 days in a row, they notify the abutting water departments, including ours, to basically have a more stringent water ban than we have in effect since May 1. So that's in effect now. So that as of last Monday, although the board, water commissions voted this last Friday, to basically ban, in addition to the ban that goes into effect May 1st, which indicates that you shouldn't be watering your lawn or anything else outside with sprinklers from May 1st through September 30th. I'll call it Phase 2 ban requires all town people to not water their lawn with sprinklers at any time. But you're allowed to hand water with a hose from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. the following morning. This is the ban that's in effect right now. And the water flow of the Ipswich River will be continually assessed by this Environmental Protection Agency. Do I have that right again? Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
So when the water flow exceeds this 5.25 center flow, whatever it is, and that threshold for 7 consecutive days, then the ban will be lifted, and we'll be back to the water ban that we've had in effect since May 1st, which is you can use your sprinklers after 5, before 9, but not during the daytime. But right now, sprinklers are banned all for 24 hours. And so let's hope that, I'm not really hoping for Dorian to hit us so we can have the river flow much better. But so right now, hopefully everyone complies with that, and that for those who don't, and we're advised of that, there's a $100 a day fine, and that we hope we don't have to fine anyone. So that's the issue on the water ban. Any of my colleagues want to comment on that at all?
No.
No.
Guess not. None of us are going to get caught in that because we're not going to do it. So we have a Citizens Leadership Academy coming up on September 18th at 6 p.m. Some of my colleagues have this board had previously participated in that. I will this year, in that Jackie's not here tonight, but in the past we've had 16-ish people who have participated in this, and that it's we welcome people to do this. There's mock town meetings, and that they learn all about the finance committee, what the board does, other committees do, and that it's something like over 2 or 3 nights. It's days. It's
11 weeks, 11 weekly sessions.
11 meetings.
11 meetings. Wow. And that I, for one, would be looking for people who wish to be nominated to boards or committees. Anyone who's participated in that to me would indicate that they're really interested in that serving the town, and that I would prefer to put somebody on the board or their desired committee if they've actually participated in the Citizens Committee, as opposed to somebody else who hasn't. I know you need the time to do that, but we welcome, I guess you can still sign up for that, according to Jackie Martin, and that right up until, I don't know, a couple of days beforehand. Let's see, we have,
If I might, Jack, I just
Yeah.
want to put my 2 cents in that it's...
cost a nickel now,
If you
John,
want, oh, that's right. If you want to understand how your town government works, and as Jack said, we'll give you a heads up if you decide to be on a committee or commission, this is one of the best ways to do it, because you get to see the entire governmental process in a very simple form. All of us try to participate at our particular levels so that you can ask questions, what it is to be a selectman, what it is to be a finance committee, and so on and so forth. So I strongly encourage it. Those who've taken it have gone on much further with many of our other committees. So
have you participated, John, in the past?
yes, I have.
Have you, Catherine?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have.
that's it, great. So, again, there's still time to sign up for that. Let's see, we have a lunch and learn at the Council of Aging, how to avoid ever-changing scams. I believe the chief of police will be there, or Kevin Napoli, or both.
Yeah, the detective.
Yes, and the detective will be there.
Detective Lucatoni.
Based people, there's lots of scams going on, phone, emails, whatever, and mail. And that September 18th at 11:30 a.m., our Council on Aging is reaching out to come up with all kinds of agenda items that I think are interesting to everybody, particularly seniors. Last but not least, we have a Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day, which I always participate in. October 5th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I got to go back to my, and it doesn't say where. Should be at the
Yeah.
It's at the
I did
Hamilton
not-
DPW yard, 577 Bay
Hamilton
Road.
DPW, not ours.
Oh, the residents have to bring it to Hamilton?
Yes.
Okay.
I wonder why that is. In the past, anyway, all right. It's always there? Okay. Do we have a definition of what hazardous waste is, by the way? Paints, I'm sure is. It's in there, it's in the book? Of course. Let's see. Announcements.
Here, Jack.
Oh, God.
Oh, you got it?
I got it. I see it, John. Where do I begin?
Covers a lot of territory.
Covers a lot of territory. What to bring, oil-based paints, stains and varnishes, wood preservatives, paint strippers, thinners, solvents, adhesives, lighter fluid, if anybody actually uses a lighter these days, weed killer, chemical fertilizers, really, chemical fertilizer, flea control products, mothballs, poisons, insecticides, fungicides, gasoline, kerosene. I got some old kerosene I can get rid of. Engine degreaser, brake fluid, carburetor cleaner, transmission fluid, car wax polishes, driveway sealer, antifreeze, roofing tar, swimming pool chemicals, motor oil, rubber cement from airplane glue, fiberglass resins. I'll be another 10 minutes going through this list. Aerosol cans, photochemicals, furniture and polish, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, we have to have an in-house expert on everything, you know, Jack.
What not to bring? Empty trash containers, prescription drugs, commercial waste, industrial waste, radioactive waste, whoo, gosh, smoke detectors, infectious and biological wastes, ammunition, fireworks, and explosives. You bring those to the chief. He gets a discount on those and sells them someplace. Ammunition, fireworks, and explosives. He gets a discount on those as well. Fire extinguishers, syringes, organic, peroxides, latex paint, okay, oil paint, okay, and propane tanks. Anyway, it's on the website. If I didn't read everything on this, which I didn't, but how to transport them, et cetera, et cetera. This is, again, it's one day, Saturday, October 5th, at the Hamilton DPW yard, from 9 a.m. to noon. All right. Gonna follow instructions a little better.
Good job.
And checks only payable to the town of Hamilton.
The check is payable to John Clemenzi and Jack, no, it's the town of Hamilton. Right. So that's it for announcements. And that, next we turn to Catherine for the consent agenda.
Okay, I guess we have no reports, is that right?
Yeah, I have,
Oh,
just briefly, I just want to go through some of the things that I've been working on for the
That's next,
past
right?
3 weeks.
It is.
So I attended a coffee hour open house at the Barrington Center for Arts at Gordon College. Had the opportunity to meet President Lindsay and also Vice President of Marketing External Affairs, Rick Sweeney. Good meeting. They're looking forward to a good working relationship with the town and to offer their assistance. Met with our state delegation. Representative Brad Hill stopped in the office to say hello. And I also got the opportunity to meet Senator Bruce Tarr, as well as the representative at the ribbon cutting ceremony at the Hamilton Wenham Community House. And that was for their new before and after school childcare program. Budget calendar, Patty and I will be working on the financial forecast, which we planning to present to the board on October 1st at that meeting. Personnel-related issues, Christine Doan, who's the finance assistant and payroll coordinator, has announced that she'll be leaving us to take a job in the private sector. Patty is reworking the job descriptions. We hope to have a new proposed amended job description to the board at our next meeting, so we can post that vacancy. The 1A Main Street Traffic Improvement Project, the letter was sent to Secretary Pollack, and I have to do some follow-up by the week's end with MassDOT. I met with Don Lake from the Hamilton Wenham Youth Soccer Association to work on the contracts for Academy of Penguin Hall and Landmarks, so I hope to have those ready for you for the next meeting. The town now has a Twitter account, so if you're a Twitter social media user, you can find us at Town of Wenham. And hopefully we'll have a Facebook and Instagram account up by the next meeting.
You've been asking her this for months, haven't you?
It's right on the
I
tip of my
tried to
tongue.
find it
Thank
the
you.
other day.
And the last thing is...
I tweet, what doesn't matter, I'll do it.
Tweet.
Tweet.
And the last thing, I just want to report to the board and to the community that we have received a Green Community Grant, and the award amount is $127,86. Special thank you to our energy manager, Vicki Masson, for all of her hard work that she puts into that. Not only writing the grant application, but really the follow-up that you have to do is just a tremendous amount of work. So that's some great news for us.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I saw the email on that. That was really impressive.
What was the dollar amount again?
127,086.
And that comes in at one time, or does that come in over a period of time, or against certain projects? or-
We have a certain list of projects that was approved. Mostly it's for LED lighting for here, the library, highway, the fire department,
Yeah.
the police department. So
There's a whole breakdown of that.
there's a breakdown in the email, and
Good.
it'll be, the state hasn't, it's officially announced when they'll have an awards ceremony. I think it's going to be next week. So as soon as I know that, I'll forward it to anybody from the board who wants to attend with me.
Would love to, because the property I manage, I cannot tell you how impressive it is to put in LED lighting that costs so little to install. I mean, an 8-foot fixture is $20.
Right.
And
And the savings that we reap
then
on
the
the other end.
savings, your electric consumption drops
Right.
right down. And so you get a better product and a lower cost.
Right. So we're going to work on that project right away. As soon as they hand us the
Good.
contract and we get that executed and signed, we want to get that project done. So, yeah, that's great news for us.
Great news.
And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman of the board.
Okay, now the consent agenda. There are three things: a liquor license at the Wenham Museum, a golf tournament, actually, a gift and donation solicitation for office chairs from the Wenham Police Department, for the Wenham Police Department, and some minutes. I move to approve all items in the consent agenda as presented, including holding the second set of executive session minutes from January 15th, 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor, John?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Okay.
Next, we have some appointments from the police department. Would you like to get up, Chief and Captain, and introduce whom you're going to be recommending for these reserve officers? There's three.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us
afternoon.
tonight.
Aye.
Captain is going to kind of take point on this, get a little podium time, if that's
All right.
with you
All
folks.
right.
Lucky me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we take the
Isn't it-
muzzle off.
Isn't it nice to be able to delegate that, Chief, every once in a
Yes,
while?
we're getting
Yeah.
there. So,
That's great.
but certainly any questions.
Yeah, in addition to what Jack asked, who and for what purpose? What is the reason? What's going on behind the scenes for our knowledge? Because I just got resumes about half an hour ago,
I think they're vacancies, John, but they can describe this.
but that's why, right?
Sure. Yep. These are vacancies. As you know, we've been doing promotional processes over the last year and a half. Just this process we began in May, so it's about 3.5 months worth just doing the reserve process. But we've had full-time vacancies, which included a detective, 2 patrolmen, and a sergeant. So we backfilled them from the reserve force, and then these are reserve officers that are being brought in to refill the reserve force that moved up.
Okay, so,
We're not increasing anything, no.
Right.
If that was the question. No, we're actually only,
ultimately, I was going to get there, but.
yeah, no, we're actually only doing 3 appointments tonight instead of the 4, so.
Oh,
Okay.
which one aren't you doing, by the way?
We're gonna run with 3 appointments right now. There was some other candidates that we liked that weren't quite ready yet with the Reserve Academy, and there was another that was on that state police list, and we didn't want to go down that road, so we're gonna wait and see how that plays out, and then we may be bringing another name forward at a later date, but these were the 3 best candidates we could find right now out of the pool, so.
Nice.
And some part of the timetable deals with the background process. You have to be a certified background investigator. Myself and Detective Luke and Tony are the only 2 certified background investigators. So just to do one background could easily be 20 to 30 man-hours between the interviews, the neighborhood checks, the checking with prior employers, and then to put it all to print, it ends up being about 7, 8 pages typed to do it the right way. So that takes some time as well. So Detective Luke and Tony and I did that. He did a real nice, thorough job on these candidates, and we bring them in for a background interview prior to any of that, just to go over a packet a mile long for every question you could possibly think of, to vet through any issues and concerns. And we did that, and everything went smooth for these 3 candidates that we're bringing forward. We're confident, based on talking to their prior employers, looking through their personnel files, doing every record check humanly possible, and just getting a good vibe for the feel of their professional maturity, which is what we're really focusing on. The chief and I are putting a whole lot of importance on the type of people that we think have the right mindset for what they want to do, why they want to get involved with this job. It's not for everybody. And we know that, and hiring the right people is so very important to make sure that they want to learn, they want to get the training that's necessary, they can integrate well with the other folks that are already in place. And we did all that, we factored all that in, and that's where these 3 candidates kind of rose to the top. And like the chief said, we still have a couple vacancies that we can move forward with. One of them was a very good candidate, and it was no fault of him whatsoever. He did well during the background process, but like the chief said, looking at his potential hiring at the state police, we wanted to wait and see how that played out, and if for
In
some
other
reason...
words, they might have taken that opportunity to go elsewise, and you didn't want to interfere with that,
Right.
or hire them and then find out.
Right, and just the potential financial obligations of doing a psychological exam, doing a medical exam,
Yeah.
to have them say, hey, thanks, but I have this full-time offer at this, agency, and you can't blame a candidate for that, that's fine, but trying to get ahead of that, we're gonna give it a few months, see how that plays out, and if that, the dust settles there, we'll see where we're at.
Well, it would seem that shows some integrity in those individuals who,
Right,
Correct.
give you the information ahead of time.
right, exactly. So just going over the candidates, Kevin Kelly, he's currently full-time Middlesex County Jail. He works for their Fugitive Apprehension Unit, Civil Process Unit. He's been doing that for quite a while. He's got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Curry College. Solid background.
I noticed one of his references was Peter Carnes.
Yes.
Yeah,
he was,
throwing around names.
that might have been, yeah, he was one, I think that was Devaney.
Oh, it was-
Correct, yep. But yeah, which obviously holds a lot of weight. He's very well respected in the law
Yes, sir.
enforcement field. But, and then, yeah, Ryan Devaney, who right now is a corporal at North Shore Community College. He's been there since 2017, working on their security force. He's also a reserve currently in Essex as well, and he has a bachelor's degree from UMass. And then the last candidate, Anthony Santo, he's currently a reserve, Manchester by the Sea Police Department. He's a journeyman electrician, and he has an associate's degree from North Shore Community College.
Can you be a reserve officer in multiple
It's becoming the norm.
pardon me?
It's really becoming the norm.
Is that pose scheduling problems?
Not usually with the amount of numbers we have. If we had 4 or 5 reserves, it could probably be problematic, but they find the time to, all we're really looking for is 2 to 3 shifts a month.
Oh,
And that's not a problem for them to do in a couple of different communities.
And we wouldn't allow it for any of our full-timers, obviously, to be a reserve at another agency. They can't do that. But as far as yeah, it's pretty common. It's, in a lot of these, you have 1 or 2 scenarios where they're either trying to get full-time somewhere, or people that have a full-time job that they just want to be a reserve, and they're comfortable with kind of giving back that way without making the full commitment.
Interesting you say that, because I've spoken to a couple of officers over the last year or so, and 2 of them actually said, no, I just want to stay
Yeah.
as a reserve.
Right.
And I'm happy with that. I'm
Yep.
satisfied with the compensation.
And that's okay. And if sometimes you can really get more out of that type of candidate in certain ways, because they know what they want and they're mature enough to understand what they want and can give back in a different way. And some people, it's just been their goal to always kind of be a part of it and give back, but they've kind of, their professional career has gone in other paths. And so, some of our most talented, well-respected reserves have been on for quite some time that have other full-time jobs, and they're an incredible asset to our agency because of what the different skill set that they each have. Talking about like a Brian Pratt or a Chris Sanborn, who have been around for quite some time, that are a huge asset to the agency, but they both work, elsewhere full-time. So it can be a big help.
We had a pretty good mix of staff doing the interview process. We actually had one of the senior reserves on the panel, and we offered it up to one of the sergeants as well, and then the captain and I, so
Great,
spread it out.
great.
And we did a similar oral board structure where we asked the same questions, and we did the consensus scoring like we do, whether it's promotion, a detective position, or a reserve position. That's how we streamline it. So.
Great, great.
You going to go on to the others?
You did them.
What's that?
Oh, sorry?
Sorry,
They covered them all,
I covered them all. Oh,
yes.
Missed that. Okay. Questions, Catherine?
Nope. Thank you for the process.
No, I would agree with Catherine. Thank you for explaining the process. It sounds really good how you've gone about it. I'm very pleased and impressed with bringing in some of your reserve folks as well to weigh in on new candidates.
It's an interesting perspective to see it through their eyes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it brings them into the mix. It creates more of a family effect.
Right.
In other words, everybody understands everybody else a little bit better. Doesn't mean you know them personally and go out to dinner and all that sort. It's just,
Right.
it's business, but it's a serious business, so.
Yeah. You risk your life. The bad guy doesn't know if you're a reserve or a full-time
All
officer.
right.
You have no idea how much I respect what you folks do and what the fire department do every day of the week. And we take it for granted that you're there every day of the week.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
So Anthony, is this motion still operable? I have them, the 3 people.
Well, let me just look at the motions.
I'm going to read it, and then you can... Ryan Devaney, Kevin Kelly, and Anthony Santo?
Yeah.
All
That's
3,
fine.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
There was a 4th that was deleted before this motion was made, is that right?
Right,
Oh, correct, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't included.
Okay, now move to conditionally, why is it conditionally, subject to what? The motion I have in front of me says, I move to conditionally appoint, et cetera, et cetera. I'll read the rest of it in a minute.
Okay.
Why is it conditionally?
Probably just physical and psychological. We have got them all back.
Yeah, that was, since then, they've all come in.
So
Oh.
I can
They had all
delete the word,
taken them. We hadn't received all the results at the
but you have
time.
now,
We have
and
now.
they're all satisfactory, so I can
That's
remove
correct.
the word conditionally from the motion then.
Correct.
Thank you. I move to appoint Ryan P. Devaney, Kevin D. Kelly III, and Anthony Santo as reserve police officers for a term beginning September 3rd, 2019, and ending June 30th, 2020.
I'll second your motion.
Further discussion?
None. It's a great job, thank you.
Great job. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to meeting them
When
sometime.
do they start, by the way?
Well,
They're going to
that's,
have to go through the field training
Yeah.
program, which at the moment we have only one field training officer, so it's going to
Who
be
is that, by the way?
Chad Labrie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
So it'll be a few weeks before these fellas can...
they'll start the field training program probably within the next couple of weeks, and that's usually at least 40-plus hours, and it kind of depends on how they do, whether needs to be extended or not.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Next, we have, too bad somebody from here, the Veterans Committee, but I guess I am, but
You count.
I count. Thank you, John. I'm going to read the motion first. I move to approve the Wreaths Across America flyer as presented for inclusion in the fiscal 2020 Quarter 2 property tax bill mailing. This has been designed a few weeks ago, if not months ago. Basically, I'll have to read, I guess. On Saturday, December 14th at noontime, the town of Wenham will lay wreaths on our veterans' graves simultaneously with the participants at Arlington National Cemetery and community across the nation. Please help us remember, honor, and teach by sponsoring a wreath, volunteering, or inviting friends to help with a $15 wreath. Additional contributions are welcome to help ensure that all 476 veterans' graves are recognized. Last year, I think we were only able to put a wreath on about 350-ish,
Yes. Yep.
approximately. Check donations payable to the town of Wenham. In the memo section, please add WAA memo reference on the check, which is can be mailed or dropped off at the Wenham Town Hall Treasurer Collector's Office, or make a donation through the following online link: www.wreathsacrossamerica.org/MA0111. Let me repeat that: www.wreathsacrossamerica.org/MA0111. Please mail donations separately from real estate tax payments, and water payments and other payments as well, right?
They come in the tax bill, I just don't want them.
Yeah, yeah.
So a separate check.
Separate check, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Preferably a separate envelope, because our checks that are mailed go to the lockbox.
Oh, that's right.
So, I mean, they'll send them to us, it's not a big deal, I mean,
Yeah.
they won't know what they are, and they'll send them back to us. But it would just be easier if they sent them directly to town hall and just drop them off.
The contribution deadline is Thanksgiving, November 25th, for checks this year, and online December 2nd, 2019. I'm not sure why it's a difference, but additional information is available under the Wenham News, www.wenhammass.gov. And that, so the Veterans Committee is hoping we can lay wreaths across, I said, 476 veterans' graves. And there was quite a ceremony last year. I thought it was very nice. You were there, weren't you,
It
John?
was our first year having done this, and it all happens at with the same coordination as what goes on at Arlington National Cemetery in D.C., and is also going on in Europe, in many of the cemeteries in Europe. So this is a big deal, and whether you want to support one wreath or 20 of them, all donations welcome.
Any comments on this, anybody?
So what we're doing tonight, though, is, if I'm understanding this, is allowing the flyer to be placed in the second quarter tax bills,
Yeah,
right?
Correct.
That's what we're,
yeah,
okay, got it. It's a great program.
yeah. Actually, I didn't move that. I moved to approve the Wreaths Across America flyer, thank you, Catherine, as presented for inclusion in the fiscal 2020 Quarter 2 property tax bill mailing, which is when?
Which should be probably the last day of September.
Okay, timely then. Do I hear a second?
Second?
Comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Yep. That, it's quite an event, by the way. Last year was a nice, warm November day.
Yes, it did turn out to be a spectacular day.
Anybody else want to bring anything up that we didn't discuss? Okay. I move that we adjourn.
Oh, did we do the interim inspector of buildings?
Right.
Did I miss?
Yeah, you missed that.
Yeah,
I
that
missed
and the Iron Rail Commission,
Yes.
Jack. So D after the police, it's the interim inspector of
Do that
buildings.
too.
We can't forget Jason.
Right.
That's right.
And then Jason's here for the Iron Rail Commission.
Let's do E first. Let's, no, D. Interim inspector, right. Peter Blanchett. Are you Peter?
No.
It's Jason.
No.
Jason?
So Peter's
Not
up.
doing good tonight.
No. No.
We're
You didn't
glad
have
you're
to confirm
Jason and
that.
we're here.
Jason's a man who speaks his mind.
Maybe you want to get up and do my job for me here. I move the Board of Selectmen appoint Peter M. Blanchett as interim inspector of buildings for a term beginning tomorrow, September 4th, 2019, ending October 1, 2019. He had previously and was currently the interim building inspector, but his 30-day term ran out, correct?
Yep.
That's correct. And so what we're doing is we're asking for an extension until October 1st, so it allows us the opportunity to do the second interviews, which is happening tomorrow. And in the event that Peter Blanchett is one of the two, in the event that we were to go with the other person, then that would allow them enough time to give notice and then start on board. If it's Peter, then
Yep. Yep.
we'll be all set to go.
No, this
there.
is the right way to do it, so. Good.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Further comments?
Nope.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Peter, again. Thank you for volunteering for that. I move to appoint Jason S. Watchell, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Walktown.
No.
How would you pronounce it then, please?
Walk.
Okay, sorry.
You want me to approach the podium?
Yeah, I would,
Like,
yeah.
my name
Please.
and all that?
Yeah, please, do that.
All right.
Love to have you up here.
Yeah, while you're up there, let me just read the rest of this motion here
Sure.
before you, to the Iron Rail Commission for a 3-year term beginning September 3rd, 2019, ending June 30th, 2022. Go ahead, Jason.
Jason Wachtel, 29 Vernon Road. I effectively resign. I was going to bring up the conflict of interest with my wife being the financial commissioner for the Scouts and offer to stay on, but you know, what you did right there was just a bit rude, so thank you for your time.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
so we,
I guess we're not going to be appointing that one. I don't know what was rude, I mispronounced his name, but okay. Yes,
A little surprise.
yeah. I don't know about the conflict business, but, okay. What a way to end the meeting.
Oh, yeah, the reserve fund transfer.
Oh, there we go.
So Patty's gonna,
Please.
You found some funds to reserve.
No.
no,
Reserve fund transfer for
Sounds-
Chapter 115 payment for health insurance for veterans, widow, 10 minutes, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this will be very quick. Basically, it looks like this past year, because we had not had any Chapter 115 payments for several years, the budget was brought way down, and of course, as luck would have it, we had one this year. If it makes you feel any better, the budget we cut wouldn't have been enough anyway.
right.
So we're just looking for a reserve fund transfer to, because we'll eventually run out of the funds. We have 475 budgeted. In total, will cost us slightly over $2,000 for the year for this. So I just want to make sure that we have the funds available so we can pay the bills as they come in. And we will get 75% reimbursement. Takes quite a while, up to a
Yeah.
year. It could take up to 2 years.
Eventually,
So, you know, it's not
But
something.
you have a system where it automatically applies.
Yeah, the veterans agent takes care of all that. We get 75% back, but, I mean, if you look at the statute, it says, you know, up to a year, and it can be as long as 2 years before we get the money back, so,
So,
I mean, the state takes time.
yeah.
So if I understand this right, this is most probably an ongoing
This will be
situation?
ongoing, certainly next year when we do the budget.
So you'll have to be putting something
We will
in
put
the
something in
budget
for this.
based on real?
Yes.
Okay, great.
It's your motion, Catherine.
Okay. Do you have to?
I believe.
Yes, it is. I move the Board of Selectmen approve the recommendation of a reserve fund transfer of $2,035 for coverage of the health insurance assistance as requested by a veteran's widow and directed in MGL Chapter 115, Section 5.
Second. Further comments?
So you're going to take that before the FinCom?
Next meeting.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay.
Take care of our veterans and their spouses.
It's been a while since we've had any requests.
Yes.
2015 was the last one.
Interesting.
Okay, it's now 6:13. I move that we adjourn.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. All right.
Okay. Bill, are we off?